Hello, friends, and welcome to Activate and Thrive and to our weekly Thriving Thursday chat, where we chat with different, beautiful, health and thriving-minded individuals in this wide world of ours. We run these chats every Thursday at noon Eastern US time, right here on our Facebook page, Activate and Thrive, as a live, and then we also run them to Instagram or post them to Instagram and to YouTube. So from whichever platform you're joining us, whether right now live or later on, thank you so much for being with us. It means a lot. My name's Dawn.
And I'm Mia. And this is our guest, Karen Needle. Karen is a dear friend of mine. She's from Baltimore, Maryland originally. She began painting at the age of 9, oil painting. And she was first commissioned for her first portrait work at the age of 15, won several awards at shows at a very young age. She's done murals on walls, in homes, painted children's beds, just done so much, and also designed jewelry. But Karen fell in love with acting and singing at the age of 16, and she moved to New York to pursue her dream of performing on Broadway. She had success on Broadway. She starred opposite Dustin Hoffman in Death of a Salesman. I saw that show, had another friend in it as well. She's toured the country and world singing on cruise ships and performing in many, many national tours, such as Grease with Jack Wagner, Annie with Joanne Worley, Fiddler on the Roof with dear Theodore Bacall. We both did that. We both actually played the same role at different times. And Lanny Kazan, Tin Types, Oklahoma with John Davidson and Jamie Farr, many, many more. And then she's done, film and television. She did Family Business with Sean Connery and Dustin Hoffman. She did Death of a Salesman with John Malkovich and Dustin Hoffman. Maybe not in that order. She had a soap opera lead role as Poppy Johnson in The Edge of Night. She's done other soaps, Ryan's Hope, Guiding Light. She moved to New York, or from New York to Los Angeles in 1992. And in LA, she performed at the Pasadena Civic Center and created a role in the West Coast premiere of Hello Mutta, Hello Futta. And, in addition to all of her performing arts, Karen started her own business. And it was called Elite Audiences and Casting in 1999. And she filled seats for all of the LA court shows like Judge Judy and Judge Joe Brown and Divorce Court and Hot Bench and sitcoms and game shows and events, as well as, just booking extras. And then business was thriving until, guess what? COVID-19. So Karen is single. That's when she really poured herself, by the way, into her painting.
Maybe we could just be clear. It doesn't mean she had COVID-19 until the pandemic hit.
No, it just changed life for all of us. Right.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So Karen is single and has a full and happy life with phenomenal friends. I'm blessed to be one of those, and is part of an amazing spiritual community. And most importantly, she's extremely grateful and blessed, and embraces her gift of creativity, of the arts, and of painting. So Karen, welcome.
So great to have you here. And we're talking today about just navigating through rough waters, through the daily practice that you've found and that, that makes us move forward. So just share your story a little bit.
Yeah, just what specific challenges you may have faced, if you want to share with our audience, and how you've gotten on the other side of those with your daily practice.
Sure. Well, I've had a couple health challenges in the last couple of years. Unexpected, I found out routine mammogram that I had breast cancer, and this is 2019. And it was a total shock. And I'm living here by myself, and I had a lot of fear involved with it, but to get me through, my sense of humor really helped. My friends really helped in my spiritual practice and meditating. And when I say sense of humor, I mean, I kind of like to be the first one to say that I have it if I share, and then to take the elephant out of the room kind of thing,
Yeah.
And then I would do silly things like just take off my wig in the middle of a room, or the few hairs I had left, put them in a little like a a little Flintstone pebble thing and make, and cross my eyes and send them out to my friends, or, I just tried to look as bad as I could, and it made me
Clearly, you're not a performer at all.
Yeah, exactly.
it actually made me laugh too, and I became kind of creative with it. But going through a health scare like that, you have ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And not to say there were times I would come home and I would bawl, or if I had another procedure the next day. But another thing that helped me get through it was showing up. I once had I didn't complain. I didn't focus on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I once had a therapist that said, if you keep something alive, if you're constantly talking about it, you're keeping it alive.
Absolutely. That's what it's like when you rehearse a show and you keep rehearsing it, that's your experience.
You're magnifying it because your focus is on that, and so I would try to get my mind off of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And not talk about it all the time. And if somebody said, come, let's go to dinner, even if I didn't feel fantastic, I put the wig on, I got dressed up, I went without, and at Cedars, they put a port in your arm, not in your chest. So, I'd go with the port in my arm with bandages wrapped around, and, it's summer, it's hot with the wig on, the whole thing, but I showed up. And it made them feel better. And it actually made me feel better too. I would go right from chemo to exercise class. I didn't stop exercising.
Good for you.
And I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell people except my close friends. And then I would also work. I would still book a sitcom of 100 people, go right from the chemo chair with my hospital band on, forget about it, and drive right from chemo to signing people in at CBS Radford or Warner Brothers. And
Well, Tommy, I was just going to say, that's really remarkable. You say it like, well, I just did this, but did you find it to be a struggle sometimes
I found it helpful.
Helpful, yeah.
I found it helpful to be as normal as I could be. And that 1 hour of my bar method class, Don, was helpful to me because that was my 1 hour where I didn't have to think about being a cancer patient, where I could focus and felt like I was normal, just like everybody else that I did exercise with. I wasn't the cancer patient. And that kind of exercise was meditative too, because you don't have your phones finally, right? And you're doing something that has to be so specific and make sure your form is right. It's like a meditative thing.
Absolutely.
Because you're not thinking of anything else but the moment. And again, being in the moment. And that's why the painting, it's just, you have to, like I found out when the pandemic hit and I went back to painting because I was very terrified when the pandemic hit. I was alone. I was immunocompromised. I was fearful. And I started painting again because all my social activities were gone. I kind of lost my purpose. I lost my business. I'm like, who am I? I went through a lot of that, and when I started to pick up the painting again, hours would go by, right? Because everything, you can't think of anything else. I found, probably like with your music, right? Or with anything.
Well, I'm a composer, and I know that feeling. You get absolutely caught up. Nothing else exists. I've been up till 3 or 4 a.m. just working. I
just slip the food into the room and then I disappear.
So yeah, absolutely. You get very, very focused. Yeah.
Right. And when you focus, you have to, like, if I'm doing a portrait and I'm not looking at the shape of the nose, I'm thinking of something else, I'm not going to catch it. I'm not going to do well with it because I'm thinking of something else. Because as you know, that focus takes eye movement, hand to eye. It's every second you have to be thinking about it and focused. And then I found when I did that, I wasn't thinking about COVID. I wasn't thinking about my business being lost. I wasn't thinking about sadness. And at the end, I kind of felt a little euphoria, because I created something. I took a blank canvas and I made something really beautiful that wasn't there before.
May I ask, Karen?
And her, sorry,
go ahead. No, go
I'm
ahead.
just going to say her paintings are exquisite.
We'd love to see one if you have anything you can show.
Oh my gosh.
But,
she's a phenomenal painter.
So some might say,
Oh, that's why it's hard. They're in my living room on the wall already.
some might say, well, of course you were okay while you did that because you were distracted. Your mind was on something else. But it sounds like you're saying more than that, that it's not just a temporary distraction. It actually has healing and therapeutic power.
Oh,
Can
yes.
you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's not easy to distract yourself. I had to work at it.
Uh-huh.
And you got to think of what you want to paint. You got to set up. You got to say, oh, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to, because sometimes probably as a writer or anything, you don't feel like doing it. You're just not creative that morning or whatever. But if I sit down and do it, it will come, right?
Mhm.
And then you get to that point where you're excited about it and you see the possibilities starting to show up, right? And but yeah, it wasn't easy. But go back again and what was the last part of your question, Don?
Well, just that it might be thought that well, okay, so you're temporarily distracted from your problems or from your illness or something. Of course, that makes sense. I've been there too. I'm like distracted for a moment, but then I'm right back in it. But you're saying more than that. I think you're saying that it actually has, therapeutic and healing power that goes beyond that moment of distraction.
Well, it lifted my spirits so
Yeah.
much that it lifted my vibration.
Mhm.
So if you're in a higher vibration, you're attracting your higher good. If you're down and you're complaining and you're poor me and the victim consciousness, you're going, in my opinion and my experience, you just attract more of that, more of those people who are going to feed you right back what you're saying. They're going to complain. You're going to go, oh no, I hate to do this. I hate to do that. I don't want to go to the doctors again, blah, blah, blah. And this just took me out of it, and meditating. I have a meditation practice every morning with a spiritual group, Monday through Friday. This morning I'm missing it because I'm with you guys.
Aw.
Well, thanks for that.
But I'll be there tomorrow. I will
We're
be
honored.
tomorrow, and we do it on Zoom now. We found our way on Zoom instead of being together, and it's deep breathing. It's like breathing in from your belly into your chest and then letting it out, so you're oxygenating yourself. And we
Mhm.
do it for 40 minutes, and it's like 12 of us on Zoom, sometimes 20 of us. And our spiritual leader gives us like a meditative phrase first, like, you are effervescent, or you are amazing, or, and then he plays the right music. He picks music to go along with it. And then we do things like we raise our arms and we take up all the water in a wave and throw it into our hearts and hug ourselves and all kinds of things like that, that we're one. But as Rumi says, you're the entire ocean in a drop, that we're all one, connected. And that's a powerful way for me to start the morning. And then I also have a gratitude journal. And even now, because I like to get out of the house because I used to work from home and I want to be out, I need to see people. And I'll take it I'll find a little coffee shop, and I'll sit and have coffee outside and look at everyone and write, I am so happy and grateful now for, and I list all of these things, and then I write affirmations, and then I say things like that I'm working on negatively. I'm working to release any judgment, any resentment, any doubt, any fear, any anger, any jealousy, any, that's, and I am good enough, and there's no lack. And so I release all kinds of things like that. And then I affirm what it is I am. I am joy. I am, and how I want the world to show up for me. I attract everything I need. I am a magnet, for the perfect angels and guides that help me and show me the way to my next goal, and I listen and I remember who I am. That's
So powerful, Karen. It's that law of attraction, isn't
law
it?
of attraction. It's totally the law of attraction. I do, and the power of your word, the power of your thinking.
Yes, because we know that our bodies are amazing machines and they have the ability to heal themselves given the right care, given the right tools
Right.
and the right thought. It's all one. It's body, mind, and spirit, isn't it? And
It
that
absolutely is. And I personally know a woman that I'd like to share with you and your subscribers, that there's a woman named Anita Morjani, and she's Indian. And they're making a movie about her life. She wrote a famous book called Dying to Be Me. Wayne Dyer found her. He just
I
found
love
her
him.
and,
Ugh.
and took her to Hay House. And she had a near-death experience. Just long story short, she was in a coma, literally, and I know her personally. Organs shutting down, in a coma, priest giving her her last rites. Within 5 days, she had a near-death experience. Within 5 days, they had no trace of tumors.
Mm.
Cured herself of end-stage cancer. And that was about 12 years ago. And so if she can do it, we can do it. Yeah,
We can do it.
the mind, her mind, and she tapped into something. I'm not saying it's easy to find that open door or whatever, but it's possible.
Oh,
It's
it is.
possible,
It's what
yeah.
we give consent to, isn't it? We
That's
just
right.
make a decision. It's like, what
It's
am
all
I
about
going to?
making a decision. Everything
Yeah.
is making a decision.
Yeah, really it is. Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing what you've shared as far as what your challenges are and how you've been dealing with those. Now, can I just turn us into a different direction for a second?
Of course.
I happen to know that you've done some amazing service work in Guatemala and would love for you to share a little bit about how that came about and what you did over there and what you saw transformed from that experience.
That was something I'd never done before. A spiritual group that I'm with, non-denominational, they decided to go to Guatemala and help in an orphanage. And I said, hey, I'll go. I didn't do a GoFundMe. Some people did. I paid completely for myself. It was 2 weeks, and there were hundreds of orphans, and it was in the jungle in a swamp in Rio Dulce in Guatemala. And I went, and we planted pineapples for these children for the orphanage, and it was the rainy season, and it was like 111 degrees, and we were dripping, covered in mud, carrying out these pineapples. And I'm this tiny little thing, right? And I'm
Yes.
I'm doing it. And now their pineapples are thriving. And I painted murals, and because I thought, well, what can I do, especially? And I painted murals in the children's walls. The boys got Batman and the car from Cars, and for the girls, I did Snow White and Tinkerbell.
Oh,
I'm told they're still there.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
and we taught them English, and we tap danced with them, and we and what I took away from it too is these kids were happy. I thought that they're third world children, they're not like our children, they don't have iPhones, they're not, but what made them happy? Swinging from leaves. They had joy in their lives, and I didn't think that would happen. And the big ones would take care of the little ones. And they were laughing and playing and sweeping the mud, sweeping the water away, and they were happy. And that was, I came home and I went, wow, I'm okay, because it's not what I thought, and
right.
they're okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a beautiful example. I mean, we take it for granted how easy we really have it compared to some. And, when you have little, materially speaking, then you find other ways to get that happiness, to have that joy, because it really doesn't come from somebody else. It doesn't come,
It wasn't,
right. It comes from within, and with so little that they taught you, with their example of how to be grateful and happy with so little, so that whenever you
it was
have,
amazing. And it was so cute, because when they've had other volunteers come, they already know how to swipe the iPhone, so they take your iPhone and they want to take selfies and swipe, and
so cute.
it was a wonderful experience for me.
When was that? When was that trip?
That was, I think, 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
And
Okay.
then after that, I didn't do more missions like that. But I did go to third world countries. I went to Vietnam and Cambodia, because that just kind of inspired me to see other cultures that I had no familiarity with. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And understand them better, and be a part of it, and be on their ground and their soil, and eat their foods, and so
Now,
that's
what?
my mission.
I
What-
think it's very unifying to be a part of these other countries, and just live in their culture for a while.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. I would do it every year if I could. And that's what I was hoping to go somewhere this year, but I'll just have to postpone it. So, and I
What
will.
kind of impact, and you may have talked about this a little bit, but impact just on your own soul and your being did this work have?
Wow. I feel like I grew leaps and bounds, Don. It made me.
How did you grow? Yeah, you're telling us. Go ahead.
It made me a bigger, more compassionate, just I was more worldly in every sense of the word. And I would see every country in the world if I could. I'd go to Antarctica. I would just go everywhere I could, big, small, because I think there's so much to gain and so much to learn and so much for us to share with them.
Yes.
So those are things that I don't come home and I don't have, I have some souvenirs, but all the memories are inside. And I just feel like I'm just getting richer and richer and richer. So it's not about having money, material,
No.
it's all inside.
Right. That's beautiful. Now, if I can pivot back a little bit for a moment to rough waters, I want to specifically think about the rough waters that so many of us have faced in the last 18 or 19 months specifically. And can you talk about any experiences you have had during this time that maybe have been a little rougher, if not specifics, just, yes, I did face a rough patch and I've been coming through it this way or that way, just help people, have a sense of what they can be doing during these tough times to navigate these rough waters these days.
I made sure I was in touch with most of my friends because again, I'm here alone. I went from being such a social animal, if I wasn't working and busy and having to produce something and deliver a project and make money, which paid my bills, which all of that has been just, it's vanished. I was out to lunch and breakfast and parties and movies and movie nights and the Directors Guild. And I had a very full social life. And all of that disappeared overnight because I couldn't see my friends, because restaurants weren't open, and we were hit hard in the surge here in California. Losing my business was huge.
Yes.
Emotionally, financially, I just was so depressed. I was depressed. And then finally Zoom came around and I was able to reach out to people and people reached out to me, and I had different spiritual groups. There was a group of 5 women. We got together every Tuesday night. We read from a spiritual book. We picked a book like either The Power of Decision or a book on prosperity. And each 5 of us, we'd read some chapters aloud and then we discuss them. And then our moderator would give us homework. And then we'd come together the next week, and we're still in touch. We just stopped our Zooms, but we're having dinner tomorrow.
Oh, that's great.
We're in all different parts of the state, so we've kept together. I took exercise classes on Zoom, and I still did that. Everything I could do. Again, the painting, just finding something that gives you that joy. Something that picks you up and you can just do it. Painting is not that expensive. I don't need a studio. This is like my little den. This was where my office was. I got a little easel. I'm just set up. It doesn't take a lot. And then it kind of excited me because now I want to do a website. I can see another door opening, and just kind of, like I said, meditating a lot, walking, and just really believing. There were times, Donna Mia, I would cry and I would lose it and I'd be what I call off center. And then
You're human.
Yeah. And then a couple other health things came up and I was like, this is too much now. This is too much. I haven't even gotten over the first thing. And then after I got over the trauma a little bit, I started having a sense of humor again. And then I'm meditate, write in the journal, breathe, and kind of go, okay, I'm back centered. So it's constantly changing myself and
Yes.
remembering where I want to be.
And that's an important point. You said constantly. It's not like a magic thing once or twice. Okay, this takes work. It takes practice, as you say, daily practice. It takes work, but when we do it daily, the rewards are absolutely there. We have seen that. It's clear the rewards have been there for you. Just your whole spirit exudes this. Just we can see it in your face, just in how you talk. You're really effervescent with this this joy that you've learned through practice, and it's inspiring to see it.
And reaching out to friends. If you feel
Yes.
like, oh, I'm overwhelmed right now, reach out to someone who you know can talk you down and tell the truth. Tell you the truth that you are perfect, whole, and complete.
Exactly.
And you know, and God's got this. And that's how I look at it. That I don't have the power to fix this, but I'm perfect. I'm, you know, my cells, everything is working perfectly, and this too shall pass. And again, have a lightness about it.
And those aren't just words, are they? We say
No,
we're
they
perfect. Oh, well, look, I got X, Y, and Z. What do you mean I'm perfect?
Not that
Well,
kind of perfect.
it's not that kind of perfect. It's a much higher sense of our being.
It's your birthright. That
Your
you were born
birthright.
to have anything. No, there's nothing. You're the only one saying, "Oh, I can't have this. I can't have this.
Yes.
I'm not good enough for that," or "Oh, poor me." We put that in our minds. The
Yeah.
world is telling us that, right?
The world's telling us that. That's right.
The world is saying you can have anything. This is your birthright.
Yeah.
If you see it, you can have it. You know, but yeah, you have to put the energy behind the vision too, not just saying the words.
Right. You have to visualize it.
Believe it. You have to believe it.
And feel it. You got to feel it. If you're not feeling it, you better keep affirming it until you feel that, and even might even bring tears. It's done that for me. It's like, okay, now I know I'm in that zone because I'm feeling it.
You can change the brain waves. You can change those neurotransmitters to put you in that right place. You know, you visualize it, you write it down, and then you take the action. Like anything that we're going to accomplish in life, if we, you know, just practice in our studio, but we don't ever go out there and
Get on
share
stage.
it, then, you know, it's not really having a wider impact.
Right.
I want to share one other thing that someone taught me, and I use this whenever, if I'm dwelling on something and I know it's bringing me down, and it's not, I know it's not the right thought, I change the channel in my mind.
I love that.
Changing the channel on the TV. You have
Yeah.
the power to do that.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. What a, and you know, sometimes I like to ask at the end, and you've answered it now, for those who really might be struggling, what's one thing that they can latch onto? Try to change that channel.
Change the channel, and you can do it in a second.
Yes.
You have the power just to go, I'm not thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
That's
that. I'm gonna do
beautiful.
this. And
Yeah.
then everything shifts. You
Yeah.
have this whole shift, you know, and get out and appreciate nature.
Oh,
And be in the present moment. The
yeah.
present moment.
Right.
If
That's
you
right.
You
just-
can't change what happened 10 minutes ago, but you can change what happens right now.
And we're not even the same person we were 10 minutes ago.
Right.
You know,
Right.
or
Right.
last year or any of that. This is who we are, and we can make the most of it, even if it doesn't feel like a lot. But that little thing where you just watch a butterfly, you know, you go, oh my God, that just makes
Right.
me happy, and that changed my day.
Well, one of our guests has just said, love it, change the channel.
Oh,
And
good.
they're saying it's an awesome segment. So I think this has been really wonderful. And
Aw.
we never ever like to close these. And
No.
and I say every week, especially this one, but especially this one. I always say it, but the time comes when we need to respect people's time and let them get on to the next thing. Thanks to everybody who's been watching today. And at Activate and Thrive, we really are about just bringing this inspiration, this kind of wholeness on every level, spiritual, mind and body. And we work with a technology that's all natural, that helps the body do better, to do what it's made to do. And that all feeds into just the whole overall wellness. And we'd be more than happy to share with any people who are watching more about what we're involved with. But it's what Activate and Thrive is all about. So Karen, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been such a joy and really such an inspiration.
Absolutely.
So,
And you,
For the good work you two do. Thank you.
Thank you so
Oh.
much.
well, you're thriving, and we're so happy that you joined us today. So thank you.
As am I. Thank you.
And we
Thank you.
run these, friends, we run these every Thursday at noon Eastern US time, right on our page, Activate and Thrive. Thanks for being here, and we hope to see you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
Love
Love
you
you.
too.